Hello everybody, I'm Ed today, Rockers Live in the Yellow Submarine, and yes, I've changed my username, you guys and girls probably noticed it by checking out my channel name. Yes, this is going to be the final straw of changing the channel name. The reason why I decided to add the name Rockers instead of Moonwalkers, because Moonwalkers, I don't really make too much videos on Michael Jackson, although I do have to admit it, I already made videos on Michael Jackson, and mostly on my channel I basically talk about rock musicians and rock bands mostly. And I do talk about my favorite musicians, and I do talk about the downsides and the rock musicians or bands that I don't enjoy at all. But yeah, just a little quick update to you guys and girls. You probably noticed that the username is very different. And yeah, this channel I basically talk a lot. I talk more on rock musics basically, and well, mostly it's classic rock and metal. Yeah, just get that out of the way. So today I will be taking a look of some of the origin and the demos version of Evanescence, and I will share my honest thoughts about them. And yes, if you aren't aware, you may not know that there's actually a demo, and an origin version is actually from the Evanescence Origin album that I honestly didn't listen to. I honestly didn't get a chance to listen to because I've been really busy lately. And the Origin album is actually one of the first albums they actually wanted to release. Well, I mean, this is one of the first albums they released. Well, this is the first well, no, Origin is actually the first demo album by Evanescence. It was self-released in 2000. Approximately 50 copies were made. And yeah, it came out November 4th, 2000. Wow, I was 3 months old. I was 3 months old when that album came out. And yes, most of the songs I'm going to take a look at are mostly most of the songs I'm going to talk about are mostly from the Pre-Falling album. And yes, if you have not seen the video that I've done, I did the video of Evidence's ranking worst to best. Like I always say, there's no terrible songs on this album. Although there's some songs I didn't really that I like and don't love. I don't hate them. But yeah, if you have not seen that video yet, the link's in the description down below if you want to check that video out. And let me brighten up the screen. Okay, so the first track is going to be the Imaginary song, the Origin version, and not from the Falling version, because the Falling album they basically the songs I will be talking about are mostly demos, and one of them is the Origin version, which is from the album. And the demos is very similar to what I said about Michael Jackson's, where most of their while their unreleased songs has demos, that means that they weren't finished. And I mostly prefer the originals rather than the reworked themselves by Sony, like what I said before in the other videos. And yeah, so the first track is going to be the first one is going to be Imaginary, the Evidence's Origin version album. Origin album version. And I am not a big fan of that song because I believe I ranked that I think I ranked that song the bottom of my list in the video. I could be wrong. But the song, I don't hate it. I wasn't a big fan of that song. Even when I listened to the album all the way through 5 or 6 times all the way through, I'm still not a big fan of the song. I am a big fan of Amy Lee's vocals in all of the songs. And yeah, let's take a look at the first song or first track, Imaginary, from the Origin album version. I don't know how you call it. Brilliant piano introduction. And yeah, Imaginary was actually supposed to be the same exact string arrangements to the previous tracks, Tourniquet, which I will talk about that later on. This version is really darker, more dramatic, you could call it. It's a more of a dramatic version, if you ask me. So if you probably didn't notice that the Falling album was actually, because when they put the final tracks onto that Falling album, they add more overdubs to make it into the album version and not unreleased songs. Because these songs are going to be the ones without adding overdubs. It's more this version is more of a darker side to it, and I really enjoy that. It's definitely more of a gothic. So the first track, the origin version, I'm not a big fan of the imaginary song, so I hope you don't mind if I keep don't really talk much about this track. So I do actually enjoy the origin version. I like it mostly because it's imaginary song. I'm not a big fan of the song, or I don't hate it. I do like the song. I love that piano. That's another thing Amy Lee's really good at, is mostly mastering the classical music with string arrangement. So yeah, that's it for Imaginary song. So it's a pretty good song. Like I said, Imaginary is not really my favorite song on the album because it's more, I mean, not more slower, but it's not really go anywhere in the song. But I know it's a demo and everything, or the origin version, and I know it was meant to be, or almost meant to be. I do like that version. So I forgot to mention that there's actually going to be 5 demos that I'm going to be listening to and tell my honest thoughts, especially giving out fun facts about it. There's not really much fun facts about the first track, besides it's more darker and more dramatic in this one. But the next one is Bring Me to Life, one of the most iconic songs from this album, Falling album, and probably will be the most. Well, I mean, that one and My Immortal are probably the highest singles, except for Going. I mean, besides the singles Going Under and Everybody's Full, which I will mention Everybody's Full later on. So this one is Bring Me to Life. Wait, hold on 1 second. Yep. So this is going to be the second demo on the Bring Me to Life song, and I really love this song. This is actually, oh yeah, fun fact. A big update that I actually updated my ranking of the Evanescence, ranking the Falling album, ranking it least to favorite, and the Bring Me to Life. I actually dropped. I dropped that song a little one more space. I put Bring Me to Life at number 3, and I put Tourniquet number 2 because that song actually grew on me a lot on the Falling album. And yeah, Tourniquet and Whisper are both of my favorite songs on the album, especially Bring Me to Life. Although there's other songs that I actually really enjoy too. So this one is called Bring Me to Life. Let's see what she has got before she added overdubs. I mean, oh yeah, fun fact that you probably don't know this, but Amy Lee said that she actually didn't want to include rapping in this song because you guys already know the song how it goes, but sadly that the record label Wind Up decided to add some rapping and some male vocals in it, which Amy Lee herself said she didn't want to add it. So let's check it out. Bring Me to Life. Oh, this sounds just like the album version if they would have added it there. I really love that song, Bring Me to Life. It's one of my favorite songs from that Fallen album. Until you find me. Wake me up. There you go. I can't wake up. Save me. Yeah, this version does not have the male vocals, like what Amy Lee told us that she didn't want to add the male vocals in this song. This one's a little more shorter, so I believe I'm alive. There's nothing inside. Although I really love the Fallout album version too. I love that version. But it's the same length as the album version. The Falling album. Or the Falling version, I meant to say. It sounds pretty... I know this one's really different because they didn't add the male vocalist because it was supposed to be meant for that, but due to the company, due to this record label, they want to add them. I love love that sound, like a computer sound, stuff like that. I don't really know how I don't know how you really call it. Almost like a electronic sound, almost. Da-da. Ah, guitar solo. And by the way, in the Falling album, there was no guitar solo in that version. Because it was basically a male, just a singer that's, I forgot his name was again. But I forgot his name was, but the company wanted to add a male vocalist to do some rapping. Which that's what it's called, nu metal. Rapping in the metal genre, or hip hop. Which they're not, for me, they're not really meant as a nu metal band. Although they are the band from the early 2000s. Like this version's actually really good. It's really different than the original. I know it's the demo. I know the demos are really different than the demos are really different than the final mix or the Falling version. So yeah, that song is very different than the original song. I mean, mostly because of the guitar solo they add instead of the male vocalist rapping. Like what Amy Lee said, that she didn't want to add it there. So yeah, I do like this the demo a lot, especially because I'm a big fan of that song too, Ikubi. But this song is very different and very cool. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty good demo. I mean, to be fair, I wish they could have added the guitar solo. That could have been pretty cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the rapping in that song. I mean, even though rap or hip hop is probably my least favorite genre in music, although I don't hate the genre, it's never for me a go-to for me. Or I don't really listen to that genre that much. There are some rappers I do admire, and there are some rappers that I absolutely can't stand nowadays. And Bring Me to Life, the demo is actually really cool. Especially, I remember seeing the music video for that Bring Me to Life song. It's really cool, and especially for the time that it came out, it still holds up today, in my opinion. The music video still holds up. And actually, because if you probably don't know this, but Evanescence actually used to have Ben Moody, who was a guitarist in the band before he I mean, I don't think he quit, no. But then they lost the guitarist, and they hired a new one, which I will dive more into my honest opinion about their later ones after that Falling album. I mean, I already talked about it, most of them, in the last video I made about Evanescence. So, yeah. The next one is called My Last Breath. Now, this is a song that I talked about this song, I talked about all the songs on the Falling album, come on. But I said on that video that song gives me nostalgic feels in the intro. Well, in the Falling version too. But I remember that video. I accidentally screwed myself over and got confused with the Imaginary and My Last Breath. I believe it was Imaginary. Well, no, it wasn't Imaginary. I think it was Taking Over Me. Yeah, Taking Over Me was the one. Two of the tracks, I got so confused and I embarrassed myself in front of you Evanescence fans out there. And I apologize, guys. Especially because I didn't get much listens from that album too much. But the My Last Breath is a really nostalgic song that I can feel. I got the nostalgic feeling in my chest every time I hear this introduction to My Last Breath. It's almost like Slipknot. It kind of reminds me of Slipknot. The way their introduction to Eyeless, it sounds very nostalgic. But yeah, enough talking. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to see who did the backing vocals of the Bring Me to Life. 1 second. I forgot who did that song. Cause I didn't know that they had made God dang it, I keep messing. Okay, yeah, this is embarrassing. This is, oh, Paul McCoy. Okay, sorry. It's Paul McCoy. That's his name. Sorry. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I know he was a band before, but I'm not a big fan of him. So, I don't hate him, but he's a pretty good backing vocals for that song, Bring Me to Life. So this one's My Last Breath. This is the first. This is the only demo, the first demo. Let's check it out, shall we? This song is just like something you would hear in the early 2000s metal music, basically. The late night, well, I mean, mostly new metal. You basically want to call it. I ranked that video. I ranked that song a little higher. And what's very different about this song than the Falling album version? What's different about it that's the version. This is the version where, or this is that. The demo version is her vocals is pitch up higher than the Falling album because in the album it's pitched down the voice and it's like I don't know what to say, but similar to, I mean, it's not really similar, but I love how in Michael Jackson's Invincible album where his vocals is really toned down or the pitch down. It's very different. The 2001 song, which I do honestly enjoy this track. It's catchy, although it's different. He's basically experimental stuff. Oh my thoughts. Especially I love that guitar riff too. Dun-dun-dun-dun. So I do like this version. I actually like the Falling album a little more because I'm more of a nostalgic feels from me. It could be just that. Because have you ever experienced when you listen to an album or a song that's so old that makes you get nostalgic feels from it? Because I had that problem. I had that a lot. I've had that happen before a couple times. Along with System of a Down's music, that gives me nostalgic feels. The Toxicity album, Steelers album, man, it gives me nostalgic. So there's not really too much differences. Besides, the vocals is pitched up higher than the original. I mean, not the original. Wow, I screwed myself over already. And the Falling album version. There you go. There's nothing original to these demos, alright, guys and girls? Keep that in mind. It's just demos. That's just recording and was it finished. I like the Falling album version a little more because of more nostalgic feels I got from that album version. Keep it just me. So yeah, I really like this song. It's not really much differences besides the introduction was kind of deleted, and the demo is mostly cut to the guitar riff right away actually. And another big differences from the song than the Falling album version is mostly Amy Lee's vocals on that song that's more pitched up higher than the Falling album, because the Falling album her voice pitched down low, well, a little lower, yeah. So there's not really too much my thoughts about the song. I do like this mix too, and I love her vocals in this song. It kind of reminds me of, like, since this song is such a, it kind of reminds me of like the song that's biggest. What I meant by saying a song, it sounds like one of the songs that are one of the biggest hits that the vocals are really higher because of how much of a bigger hits it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Sometimes I say some gibberish stuff. I don't know. But the next one is the Tourniquet demo. And oh boy, I really love this song. This one, Bring Me to Life, Whisper. This is one of my favorite songs from this album. It's so catchy and awesome. It just gives you it just gives you pump up for whatever. Like, I mean, it's Evanescence, like the Falling album. I mean, this is the demo, I know. But this song kicks so much butt. I love that guitar riff. Man, that song is catchy. And I love the orchestra, the string arrangements at the end. Especially I love the follow-up to the next track, what I just mentioned before, the imaginary version too. So, yeah, this is Tourniquet, Evanescence demo. Let's see. And this is the demo version too, by the way. There must have been a couple demos before. There was probably a couple demos, the first and the third one. It could be, but this is the one I found so far. What's different about this introduction is that Amy Lee didn't add the overdubs. So catchy, I love it. Sorry, that song is so catchy, I love it. I jam out to this song every time I hear this song. I just jam out to it. So loud. Man, this song is so catchy, I love it. Sorry for jamming out too hard in front of you. This song kicks so much butt for me. To my salvation. What's very different about this track is what's very different is that you can hear the drumming in the background. If you probably noticed it, you can hear the drumming in the background of the song. You can hear the drumming because in the Falling version, the Falling album, it's very different because they relies more on the guitar by Ben Moody instead for it didn't really focus more on the drumming parts. Although I actually enjoyed the drumming in this track, or this demo. This track, I'm an idiot. Try not to headbang too hard, guys and girls, because you will have your neck will hurt, because I've had that happen before, and it's pretty bad. Just, my advice to you, headbang at your own risk. Okay, so this part, you can hear this. Let me hear it. Listen closely. So if you notice that when you listen to the Falling album, you must have heard a screaming in the middle of the song. That's actually a snippet from a song from a movie, Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio version. And I saw that film, and I actually enjoyed that film. I actually saw that film once when I was younger at the time. I remember seeing that film the first time I saw it, and it was a pretty good movie. The Leonardo DiCaprio's version is pretty good, in my opinion. And I watched it a second time, and it was pretty good too. It's a good film. I will say it's a good film. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that film, I will say. There is some moments that I actually really enjoyed in the film. So, it's not really my top. I mean, it is a really good version of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet version of Leonardo DiCaprio. I love that piano at the end. I love the piano. Okay, so the demo versions. Okay, so the next part I'm gonna show you. There's a scene from the Romeo and Juliet film, and the Romeo and Juliet. I'm gonna show you the Romeo and Juliet version where it has the snippet of by an actress Claire Danes from the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet, and that version is where you can hear something going on. That's actually from a film. Fun fact, you probably didn't know that. Especially because I actually did hear some screaming in the song. I was thinking, like, I heard something familiar with it. Because I remember seeing the Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio version, and it's pretty good. Like I said, it's pretty good. So the next one I'm going to show you is a scene from a film that may sound similar to you guys and girls. I will show you how does it sound. I'm going to bring the audio, so it's just going to be the audio. So, not the video, but just like the audio. Okay, let me just... Okay, so the scene of... I'm not going to spoil it, because if you have never seen the film... I mean, I know it's just basically a remake of the William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. So, this is just the audio of the scene that I actually remember seeing. And it sounds very similar, because I remember that film, too. So, this is the scene. I'm not going to show you the video, but I'm just going to show you the audio from it. There it is. So yeah, that's the scene from the film. You may have recognized that sound. That's from that was the well. You know what? I might have to. I mean, it's a remake from William Shakespeare's version, but yeah, maybe because it was. You know, I'll just say it right now. There's going to be in a number below that if you want to skip to spoiler. There's just a number to add it there, but the spoiler alert that there was a scene where Julian, it was Julian the father was saying that because Julian had a gun in her head and then she starts pointing the gun to the father and saying, I love to die." Really cool. Father Lawrence and Juliet's interaction between the both of them. That's the scene from the film, and that scene is pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie, that scene is pretty epic. That's all I have to say about the Tourniquet song, and the Tourniquet. I really love that song. I just rock. I jam out to that song every time I hear that song. It's definitely one of my favorite songs on that album, especially because I've actually bumped that song up a lot. This is my second favorite song from this album, the Tourniquet song. My number one is with Whisper song, the final track on the album. The final demo. This is the second demo from the hit single back in the day when this was a single, and it's Everybody's Full. Now I've already talked about this in the other video on how, and I will say that Everybody's Full. It's a pretty good song. Not really my favorite song from this album. I mean, maybe it's because it's a little slower, but I do actually enjoy that guitar riff too. I did enjoy that in the Falling album version. And let's see what the second demo's got us. Oh, I accidentally turned it up so loud, too. I forgot because I was turning it up so loud in the movie. I was trying to get an audio for it. Sounds really different, too. I love it. Got everybody fooled. Did you know that you got everybody fooled? I don't know, I just want to have fun with this. I guess what I loved about the demos is where you can actually hear the drumming a lot more than the album versions. Because in the Falling album, you hear more of the overdubs in the most of the songs on there. Because it is supposed to be fit in the album Falling. I did love that drumming right there. Because I mean, you don't really hear too much drumming in there. Except you do hear some drumming in the album version. The Falling album version. Now listen closely. I forgot what was the audio from, to tell you the truth. I forgot who said that in the song. I forgot. So don't hate me in the comments down below. I forgot who did the vocal. I forgot who said that in the demo version. I don't know. This song actually, I will tell you the truth, that it actually grew on me later on. There was by the way, fun fact, there was a music video for that song. And it's a well put together music video. Especially because that song is so relevant today. I will say that about the song. This is the first time I've ever jammed out so hard. And not only that, listening to the demos of the Evanescence regardless to it. This is not the shortest video, but this is a quite short video of basically listening to the demos in the origin version. Because one of you guys recommend me to check out the demos, and I did responded, and yeah. Um, yeah, so far I really enjoyed the demos and the origin versions of the songs, especially learning what was sounding like back then before they add more over. I mean, what they recording at the time, and they before they added overdubs in the final versions in the Falling album version, nonetheless. And yeah, so yeah, I think if you had to ask me what's your favorite demos from it, I will say there's two of my favorites demos so far I listened to. My favorites has got to be Tourniquet, not just because of the song itself, but mostly because of the fun fact that it's actually taken from a movie too, Romeo and Juliet. And I like the film. I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I remember that. I remember that scene because it was almost because I remember that scene where she freaks out and it was crazy, and it's pretty cool that that's another thing I really enjoyed about listening to a rock or not a rock but a more a metal band is they add samples to what was from and similar to although I didn't talk about this yet, similar to Slipknot's first track on the first debut album, Slipknot album, where I forgot that track was called. It's basically a digit number, but that's the first track where they add this. It's basically where they take that sample and they basically remix it faster and slower in the normal speed, and it still works. I love that. It still works. I have to say this. I don't know. I do love the Slipknot. Oh yeah, so the song was called 742-617-000027. So that's what the song's called. And this version, this album, Slipknot debut album or self-titled debut album, Slipknot, and Iowa albums are actually one of my favorite albums from Slipknot. Because you may have been asking yourselves, do I listen to Slipknot? I mean, I do listen to Slipknot. I never got a chance to because I've been really busy lately, a lot more recently, and I do really love the tracks on the Iowa. Like Iowa and debut album, the self-titled debut albums are one of my favorite albums from Slipknot. I guess after that I started to lose interest on them a little bit because you gotta think about it. The first two tracks were more nu metal. Although I'm not a big fan of the genre of nu metal because there's other bands that I absolutely can't stand. I can't stand from the band from that same genre, nu metal, and I can't stand it. Because you gotta think about it, nu metal was a big thing in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And I will give a shout out to a person who commented on that ranking the Evanescence Falling album ranking. Shout out to GUEV channel. I'm gonna spell it, and it's an actual channel. He you'll see the comment there in the video. But shout out to him. That YouTuber recommended me to. Thank you so much for recommending me to check out the demos and the origin version. And I didn't really heard much about Evidence's later ones because I'm more of a bigger fan of. In my opinion, I'm a bigger fan of. I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say, but I'm more of a bigger fan of. Their earlier ones way more than their later ones because their later ones is where their later music starts to lose meaning from their original source material. Similar to what I talked about other bands that I said that I absolutely loved the first two albums and then the later ones I didn't have much interest in their later ones. But yeah, but the following album I actually gotta say I'll possibly give the following album 90 out of 100, or I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The following album, and I really love that album. It's besides Imaginary and the other songs that are the songs that I like, but there was other songs that I really loved. But I mean, there was only 2 or 3 songs for me that I like, and there's all the other songs I really loved them. So yeah, that's all I had to say about this. Thank you for telling me to check out the demo and the origin version, especially talking about the fun facts about them. It's really interesting conversations to talk about really interesting to talk about it. I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say, but it's really interesting to talk about something that's their original work, and they want to add more overdubs in it to make it more of a finished song. And yeah, so like I did address this in a video that Falling album is one of my favorite albums from Evanescence, and after that, after the Falling album, I lost my interest of their later albums, because I wasn't a big fan of their later ones. Although I know they wanted to make him. I know Amy Lee wanted to add more different sound later on, because I know this is in fact a debut album from Evanescence too. But I honestly really enjoyed that debut album a lot more than their later ones, because I don't know, because their later ones I didn't really have interest of their later ones. And I will say this, the later albums got, I mean, in my opinion, they're okay. I actually did check out some of the songs on each of the albums. I never give them a chance because they did sound really different than the first one. I don't hate it, but I'm not really okay with this. I know it sounds a little more poppier than the Falling album, because the Falling album was more directly towards not the genre new metal, I mean also new metal. And I never classify Evidence as a new metal band. Even the first listens, even the songs I listen to, I never classify them as a new metal band, because new metal is a genre where they fuse hip hop and metal at both, and you get new metal. Because like a perfect example is Linkin Park, where Mike Shinoda had a lot of rapping in that metal genre. And yeah, I really enjoyed I like Linkin Park's out. I mean, I like Linkin Park. I don't love them because I got problems with them. And yeah, so I always said about Linkin Park, but it's true. You got to bring up the other bands once in a while, because at least give them a primary example of what you're talking about as a new metal genre. Because new metal's like Rage Against the Machine. I mean, Rage Against the Machine wasn't really meant for a new metal band, because they made their albums in the early 90s. And I would classify Rage Against the Machine a rap rock band. Because they're basically a rock band that has a lot of rapping in it. Although I actually really enjoy Rage Against the Machine's albums, they didn't really make too much albums along the way. And I did hear that they were going to... And yes, I did hear about them reuniting together, and let's see. I hope it does. I will be excited to see what they're gonna offer us, since they broke up since a long time, almost 20 years. It's crazy. But yeah, the last album they made, which I honestly do have that CD, the Rage Against the Machine's Renegade CD. And I also have the debut album, the self-titled Rage Against the Machine album. And yeah, it's actually one of my father's favorite bands from that at the time, which he's not wrong. I really enjoy Rage Against the Machine's music too. And yeah. So again, to summarize the whole video, I absolutely agree I absolutely love the demos, and I think my favorite demos has got to be Tourniquet and Bring Me to Life, because Bring Me to Life had more of a guitar solo in it, which it wasn't in the Falling album. And the Tourniquet actually had more, you could actually hear a lot more clearer, or not a little, you can hear a lot that you can hear from a film, Romeo and Juliet. And it's really cool that they add that that sample too, that snippet from the film. That's pretty cool and interesting too. I missed how bands used to add some samples or like where they add samples from a film or from a TV show or from a documentary. I missed how bands used to do that back then. I mean, because trust me, listening to this album is far better than what you hear today. Trust me. Because I know you probably out there probably never listened to this album. I know some fans at the time they were born at the early 2000s where the debut album came out. Because especially I was 2 months old when this album came out. And my parents always had the CD. I know you probably noticed there's cracks on there. My parents had this for years. Yeah, my parents had this since when this album came out. I know, right? Gee, that's so nostalgic, dude. Dude, that's so nostalgic. I'm just kidding. But man, that's a long time ago too, because this album came out 3 weeks before Linkin Park's Meteora album came out. Did you know that? And Linkin Park's Meteora and Hybrid Theory albums, definitely the only albums I absolutely love from that albums. After that is where they're basically trying to follow what was popular at the time. and similar to scary movies, where the scary movies were basically a parody films of what was popular at the time. And their later sequels, I never really liked their sequels after that. I mean, the first one was really good. I absolutely love Scary Movie 1. It's really funny, in my opinion. And the sequels, like the second one was pretty good. The third one, it was good because I feel like after the third one was where they started to went a little too downhill. Because especially because they're basically following what was popular at the time, and that's pretty bad. And yeah, not really. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so if you guys enjoyed my reaction to the demos and my reaction to the demos, like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications to be notified directly to that video, and share this video if your friends share this video if your friends or even your parents or even your kids are big Evanescence fans too. Share this video just to I don't know, just to share the video. Just if you're an Evanescence fan, recommend to check out this video. No, I'm just kidding. But that was a weird thing to end. Share this video with your friends or family and your kids if they're an Evanescence fan. And yeah, I really love Evanescence's Falling album. I gotta say, this is the album that I absolutely loved. I really loved it. And that's all I have to say. And my social media are in the description to follow me there of what I've been doing lately, because I've been posting more. I've been posting more on my social medias more often because I've been really busy lately. And oh yeah, fun fact, not fun fact. The next video I'm going to be talking about the album that I actually got. A week ago. I actually got that album 1 week ago, I believe. I could be wrong. And I know you probably noticed there's the right one I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video because I'm an idiot sometimes. But then the right side is a bunch of CDs because of my cousins give it to me just to, especially because they know that I enjoy rock music, especially because they know, I guess because they just want to recommend me to other bands. And these are the, oh, hold on, sorry, I don't know why I was turning around. I was trying to get the album RAM out. God dang it, I accidentally spoiled it. But yeah, uncompleted. Those are the, I was looking, it took me like weeks to find the correct CDs into the albums. And yeah, there's not really much. Those in the right sides are basically I cannot find any CDs from those albums at all. So the album I will be talking about after I post this video is going to be one of my favorite albums, and it's Ram album. And yes, this is on vinyl. And I am going to be talking about this album next up in the video if you are subscribed to this video for a while. And if you are a big Paul McCartney fan, and if you are the Beatles fans, I will be making this video next after I post the video about my the demo reactions to it. So yeah, this is a vinyl from this is the original vinyl, and I'm not joking. This is actually the original vinyl where it first came out. I know you're gonna be asking yourself, well, why is this? Why you always say there? You're lying. This is not the original. Yes, it is, because you can tell. Well, you know, I'll save it my breath for the next video, because on the vinyl, it actually has the numbers, and I did some research on the numbers that has it. There's the numbers on there on the vinyl player, or on the vinyl disc that has it, the numbers and the letters on it. I did some research, and this is the original version of the Paul McCartney Ram album, and it's not the remasters either. This is the original 1971 album. So yeah, I'll save my breath for the next video. So I will see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love. And oh yeah, another thing. One of you commented about Evanescence's upcoming album that they're going to be making on next year, and I may not buy that album at all, because I've lost interest of Evanescence later on, because I listened to their songs. It sounded a little more poppier than their older ones, because their older ones are more of a metal, more of because their later ones sound a little more symphonic metal too. But I always classify Evanescence as symphonic metal, because Evanescence is a metal band that has, because it's symphonic means they add string arrangements in the metal genre. If you want to be asking myself, if you probably don't know what symphonic metal is, then you do some research about the whole thing, about the whole entire context about that genre. But this is just like a short fact about it. It's basically a metal combined string arrangement or orchestra pieces in it. So that's all I had to say. Change the world. Peace and love.